Normally, I sit down and contemplate my thoughts before saying about something, before saying any opinion about any movie. But as you can see now, I am standing up. I am unsure of what I'm about to say, but I'm pretty much sure that I'm going to go on a rant right now. And pardon me if I fumble, pardon me if I eat my own words, because all of my thoughts that are coming into me right now are unhinged, just like the movie. Raja Saab is directly an hit to your senses. It's an abomination for the senses and it tests your patience. Yeah, that's about it. Why am I starting off like that? Because personally, I don't like to blame or bash in a movie like that. There is no one that is related to me in this movie, how or whatsoever. I know a big commercial movie like this is the paycheck of a lot and a lot of people working in the industry. The main actor is also responsible for pulling a lot of audience, which in return gives huge amount of profit to the production house who pays a lot of people. But that doesn't mean that you keep turning out pile of garbage like this every weekend and week out. And what is with this 400 crore budget? Every 400 crore movie is turning out to be some big piece of garbage. First War 2, now this. Why? Why? What is wrong with the number 400 crore? Let's talk step by step. First, coming to the plot line. What is the plot line? The plot line is Raja Saab is a person who has, what is he doing? What is his actual job? What is his profession? Is not clear. What does he do for living? Is not clear. But from the very first film, a girl is head over heels for him. That said girl is ready to exploit her own father for money just to have Raja Saab in his side quest. Honestly, I want that kind of lady pool in my life. Like, I know I am nowhere near the charm, personality of aura of Prabhas, but God, if you're listening, please, someday. Then coming to the main plotline, Prabhas's grandmother is called Ganga Devi, who is supposedly the last heir to her inheritance, her empire, but unfortunately due to some circumstances, she got ripped off of it and now they lead a very ordinary life. And Prabhas's grandmother is suffering from amnesia, but the one person that she hasn't forgotten yet is her husband, Prabhas's grandfather, who is played by Sanjay Dutt. According to her, he was a noble person who once left his home in order to find a thief who stole all the jewelry of her, the grandmother of Prabhas. And in that search, in that conquest, he got lost himself. And till now, there is no record of him, there is no contact from him, and nobody knows where he is. Then comes in Prabhas, who one fine day finds out that Sanjay Dutt is actually alive and somewhere near them in Hyderabad, I suppose. And then Prabhas goes out in search for his grandfather, and it turns out that his grandfather is actually a greedy, nasty fellow who tricked and ripped off a lot of persons from their money and is now currently hiding all those money and jewelry in a mahal in a deserted forest, which nobody has a location of and nobody has ever had the courage or curiosity to find out. Now coming to the spoiler territory, Prabhas barges into that mahal and turns out that this said grandfather is also not only a master of black magic, also a master illusionist, hypnotist and a psychiatrist as well. He is everything. And how does he trick Prabhas into his illusion and makes him think and see things that are not there and do things that are not he is not supposed to do is the main plot line of Raja Saab. Now in paper, this may sound interesting, this may sound engaging, but the execution that I saw said something different. You know the sequences where we saw a old Prabhas with grey hair walking upside down on the roof of the mahal and doing some weird shit that actually looked engaging. You know, where he was holding the cigar, looking badass. We saw the poster as well. Yeah, that's not in this movie. And believe me or not, there is a part 2 coming of this movie as well, where we are going to see that Joker Prabhas as well. You know, the one we saw in the trailer, the very last portion of the trailer. Yeah, the sequences that we saw in the trailer are the same sequences that we see in the movie. That's it. There are no extensions. That's the only shot that they have used. And why was that old Prabhas sequence shot entirely? Nobody knows. Was it just for promotion? Was it just to tease us? Was it just to clickbait us into watching the movie? Maybe. Maybe not. Who knows? Now, as I said, in theory, this should be an engaging plotline, right? A hypnotist hypnotizing you and making you see things and believe into things that are not there, and you fighting that hypnotism in order to come back to reality. That is the engaging plotline, right? This movie focuses on that bit only in the last 20 to 30 minutes, the last climax portion of the movie. The rest of the whole movie is Prabhas simping over Nidhi Agarwal, then Malvika Mohanan, then Nidhi, then Malvika Mohanan. He is jumping from one girl to another without clearly communicating anything with them, and both of them knowing that he is juggling. Sorry, that looked awkward. Knowing that he is jumping off of both of that sounded wrong, and both of them knowing that he is manipulating them still decides to fight over him. The kind of luck, the kind of charm in this movie Prabhas has, my god. First, he exploits the first girl that is in his life for a long period of time, looks after his grandmother, looks after his family. He exploits her, takes money of her father, and then totally forgets her. Then Nidhi Agarwal's character comes in, just randomly walking through the road. He sees her, falls for her, goes into the church, hears a sad story about a little kid with organ failure issue, donates half of the money that he took from the previous girl for another purpose, donated half of that huge money, by the way, 5 lakh, donated half of it randomly for a girl with a sad story. And Nidhi Agarwal's character, knowing that this guy just donated 3 lakh of money for a poor kid, falls for him. Just like that. Then Malvika Mohanan's character comes in, walks in with 1 crore money in a suitcase. 1 crore. And offers him that, saying that his grandfather her grandfather owed his grandfather money. I know this all is sounding bonkers, this is all tangling up, I am fumbling, it's all sounding unhinged. Believe me, I personally am unhinged by here right now. And I don't know what I'm saying. I might just explode in a while. And logic and common sense jumped out of the window while making this movie. Honestly, because why? Why would any sensible woman would fall for a guy who clearly doesn't have a job, clearly manipulates, clearly takes advantage of you, clearly gaslights you, and let all that be. You are inside a mahal, being haunted by your own grandfather, who is trying to kill you. Logic says what? We'll try to escape, we'll try to make a run for it, we'll try to save ourselves from any kind of danger. Logic says that, common sense says that, right? But the movie logic says, we'll do a romantic song in between all of this. We'll dance together, we'll make comedy scenes together, we'll have a banter, comedy gag in between all of this. That's what's going on in this movie. Literally, Nidhi Agarwal's character drives in a car in that mahal, a working freaking car in that mahal, and nobody thinks of, you know what, we are stuck in a mahal, maybe, just maybe, we'll take the car, put it in the 6th gear, and just drive off the mahal, or even try for that. Nobody even tries that. Nobody even thinks of it. Nobody even mentions that there is a freaking car in there. We can just try to drive it off. Maybe, just try. And what is with the designer dresses for all these characters, all these girls inside the mahal? They are inside a freaking haunted mahal. They are being haunted. But every time Prabhas's character comes in, they are like, oh no, it's all hunky-dory, everything's fine. He's here, he'll save us. Oh my god. Why? How? And all of the worry, all of the tension, all of the danger factor lurking around, it just vanishes. There is a sequence where Nidhi Agarwal was begging for her life to Jesus to save her from all these ghosts that are haunting her. And literally after a few seconds of confrontation with Prabhas, she's hugging a pillow, sleeping there, dreaming sweet dreams, as if those ghosts just vacated the area and went on a vacation itself. Logic, where are you, man? Honestly, it's like finding a needle in a haystack. No. It's like finding a needle in a wormhole. And I believe this movie and this director is actually taking a hit on Prabhas. Why are you trying to make my man dance, knowing very well that he's physically right now physically incapable of doing those heavy movements, because I'm not making a joke out of it, because Prabhas actually has gone through some very tough physical procedures, surgeries. He has had some difficulties even walking. That's why his physical movement is very limited right now. He has gone through very deep, very serious physical issues, which is why he is the way he is right now, a little limited in his movement. But why in the proper sense will you decide to make a guy like that dance with all your actresses in every song? You see Ajay Devgan in Bollywood movies, he is doing fine, right? His movies are doing well. He is a meme material, but still he is a good meme material. He knows his limitations, he knows the pros and cons of him dancing in every movie. According to that, the choreography is set in that way. Why not for Prabhas? We know that he is not the guy he used to be from 10 years or 15 years ago. Let's accept that and make him do what he is capable of doing right now. Why make him suffer? And why make us suffer seeing that? Literally in the end, we see this horror comedy movie turn into a superhero movie. I think this was a fantasy of Prabhas in some way, that he saw Marvel movies and thought to himself, you know what would be cool? If I could just fly off like Superman or Captain Marvel. And in this movie, they literally took Captain Marvel, literally took the template of Captain Marvel, removed Carol Danvers from the frame and put Prabhas in. That was it. We saw our own version of Captain Marvel, Prabhas Captain Marvel, before GTA 6. That was it. That was my rant about this movie. We got to see a pile of garbage, 400 crore pile of garbage before GTA 6. We saw that first with War 2, and now another. What is with this again? What is with this number 400 crore? Why is it so haunted? Why any producer who puts 400 crore in a movie gives us results like this, like a dog shit? This is exactly what happens when you give a TikTok video a humongous budget. Every portion was like a skit, not connected to the whole movie in any sort of way. Every particular portion was a skit of its own, and they just jointed all that skit and made a 3-hour long TikTok video. That's it for me. That was my rant about the whole Raja Saab movie. As you can see from my expression, my face screams exhaustion, frustration and anger at the same moment. I am going to contemplate my decisions for the rest of the week at least. If you have seen the movie, comment down below your thoughts about it. And don't forget to subscribe to Omlan Rexo.